you will learn to use our interface and issue orders to your forces.
What's up, everybody? This is Black Sheep bringing you a brand new Terran Tactics video. I've been playing a ton of Starcraft 2 lately. I wanted to share with you a guide that I have constructed and that I've found success with over the past few months. It is using nuke defensively. So a lot of times people look to use the nuke on enemy mineral lines or enemy structures to soften them up, but I found the most success using them in defensive situations and using them to protect your own base. You can either bait enemies into your base, give them incentive to push forward, or create pressure or chaos in order to confuse your enemy and also hit them with the nuke. So the Ghost itself comes from the barracks or the tech lab. You need a Ghost Academy as well. The Ghost Academy then has a nuclear silo that can be trained to build a nuke, which costs 100 minerals and 100 gas. Now, once that's all built and trained and you have your Ghost, you need to, of course, lay down your nuke. And this is done by simply selecting that unit, clicking your N key, and pointing to the location you want it to hit. Now keep in mind it does take 14 seconds for that nuke to come down, so it's quite a long time in the heat of battle for that nuke to come down, so you need to be ready and pre-plan where you want to target this. As you'll note here in the tooltip, it deals up to 300 damage to enemies and 200 to structures. Just to keep in mind, it will take down most enemy forces. I think, Ultralis, Colossus will still live, and some other big structure units, but for the most part, it's pretty devastating to an opponent. So let's go over, next we'll go over some clips of how to use this specifically. But in this first clip, I use it to come back into a fight. So I know I've taken some bad fights, and as you'll see here, I'll showcase, in particular, a really bad engagement that I took. I was slightly behind in supply, but just a bad engagement, did not have the right units to be able to take down this army. So I take a bad fight, I fall behind, I need to re-macro up. I start the process. I already have nukes because I'm playing Protoss, so I need the EMPs. I already have Ghosts out, I should say. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting whittled down, I'm trying to re-macro up. It's really failing, and I know my only hope really right now is to bait them into a nuke in order to get this army cleared off the map. So what I do here is I push out with my army and place the nuke on my own army. This creates some confusion for the opponent as he doesn't really know where it is. He hears the sound but doesn't necessarily hear it. From here, the opponent pushes right into the desired location, and I'm able to successfully bait him into that nuke, which completely turns the tides of the battle. I think it's important to note that me pushing out with my own army and nuking my own army, in a sense, is what helped me get them trapped in that zone. Because they were confused, they didn't know where it was, maybe just too much moving on screen for them to realize the red dot. I can go on and clean up this game now that I took down that nuke. Now, there's another scenario where I realize in this battle I'm down in supply, I just haven't been having a strong game, he's been shutting me down, that I need another desperation move. So I scan his base, I see that he's moving out, and I can already tell that his army is significantly bigger than mine, and it just hard counters my units. So what I choose to do is to push out with my army and go for his third base. Now my hope with this is I'm putting some pressure on him. He's got a lot slower army, a lot of tanks in there, it requires him to siege up. So my thought is if I push out with my army and I have more mobility, I can push out to his base and hopefully create chaos enough to have him pull back. Or you'll see that I'll use my nuke to help zone them out. But in this particular instance, the pressure I'm putting on the other side of the map creates too much havoc for this particular opponent to be able to monitor where my nuke zone is, and they walk straight into it. So as you can see here, I drop my nuke in a highly defensive place. I'm basically nuking my own units, but I'm placing pressure down on the bottom of the map. So they think, okay, let's go, it's go time. But you can see here, it walks them straight into the nuke, and I'm able to pull off a win by baiting them into that zone. So there's some keys to this where we need to always be baiting or pressuring in zones that, in areas that maybe will distract the opponent, and also giving them incentive to push forward.